Hey sis, how are you?
Hey sis, how you doing?
Good, good. I don't see you yet. There's my beautiful big
There
sister.
I am, honey. Happy Monday afternoon. Woo, woo. Oh, oh, wait, morning still. Glory to God. How you doing, sis?
I'm doing great. So great.
Good.
Very excited to be doing this. I know we've been waiting for a while, so
Ah, me too. I'm excited too. It's a good thing.
yes,
There's been so much going on. I
there
mean,
sure
life
is.
has been amazing. Can you believe that we are dawning our year anniversary already?
It is shocking. It is shocking how quickly that year went by.
Didn't it go by? Listen, but just as fast as this developed, so did the time go by. Look at God. He's amazing. I mean, y'all, the things that have been going on in this past year have been amazing. And that's why we come today to share it all with you.
Yes, yes, yes. One of the things, first of all, I'm Teresa, and this is my beautiful sister, Teresa,
Teresa, yes.
from Let's Just Talk with TN.
NT,
And
yes.
we are here to just share with you about what's been going on with us for the last year. As you can see from behind me, we have been building a house. So I've
Yeah.
been off gridding it, y'all. I'm just saying
Yeah.
right now,
Big
I was
time.
living in a shed. We didn't have running water. I carried pails to do dishes and showers, and we had enough electricity with one extension cord. If it did not fit on that
Amazing.
extension cord, we did not have it. So it was a big adventure, and I'm very excited to have been able to do it with my love because he is amazing and he makes
Yeah.
everything better.
Yeah.
But we're super excited to be in the house now, and we're just waiting for the last finishing touches. We're just doing the finishing touches now. So y'all will see as time goes by, you'll see that there will be changes in my background.
Oh, wow. It's amazing, isn't it? Wow. Again, just wow. I mean, there really isn't much more that you can say, but we are so excited to have the Let's Just Talk with TNT fam to share all of this with. The year has been explosive in so many ways, y'all. And we're just going to go right to the point. Let's just get right into the point where this was established because we actually did establish our channel on Let's Just Talk with TNT with every intention on doing this from start to finish. I mean, up to date to this point. But then things took a turn for a change that we were not ready for. Actually, we just weren't sure what was going on. Standing in prayer, just believing in God for all things. Sis had started feeling really bad in her body. It was just amazing, though, how right in the midst of all that, right before that all unfolded, we had a communication with each other, and that is where Let's Just Talk with TNT was birthed. So y'all, right from the top, we want you to know that this is going to be a part 1 and part 2. We're going to go as far as we can into it, but definitely there will be a part 2. So let's start out, sis. Let's just start out with the birth of Let's Just Talk with TNT, and then we'll go right into you know that change that took place, because I want to call it a change because I honestly don't think like it stopped,
It didn't
because we
stop.
continued to feed the
Yes,
vision and continued to feed the growing page. So let's get into all of that.
yes. Well, I know that many, many years ago, I was in a car accident and it caused me to be bedridden. And when that happened, I really started closing off. Not only physically was I closed off, but mentally and emotionally, I was closing off from people because I did
Mhm,
not want the people that I loved to see the pain that I was in. So
mhm.
I really, this car accident caused a huge change in my family. And where I was where we were all very close knit, we did everything together. Um, it stopped instantly,
Mhm.
and that was a really hard thing to see. So that was a part of what was keeping me. Um, just away from everything. And it was
Right.
really difficult.
And
Excuse
we also didn't have any communication during
me,
that
did not
time.
know.
I mean, we would, hi, how you doing? Oh, I'm in a lot of pain. And then it was that, and then we wouldn't have time to share with each other for a while after that. But it really, so our communication at the birth of Let's Just Talk with TNT was during that one conversation after years.
Yeah.
And what led up to that conversation?
My sweet friend Kayreen had called me, and right before that, I had my husband and my oldest daughter had been doing research for new medicines for me to try because I had been on all the opioids for 9 years, and it was not helping me. I still could not get up and move around without being in pain. Even in bed, I was in pain, but I still could do nothing. So I still had almost no quality of life. Um, and so that really disturbed my husband and my daughter. So they were doing research.
Absolutely.
Yes, they did research for about a year. And I finally decided to go ahead and try this new medicine, and it changed instantly. It was the most amazing thing to be able to sit down and eat a meal with my family and to play Uno afterwards. It was just one of the greatest to this day. I get a little teary eyed whenever I think about it because it just was such an amazing thing to have because we had went so many years without being able to do that.
I
Um,
remember when you called and told me that, guess what? I'm gonna have my first meal with the family with Scott and the girls. It's like, wow.
yes, it was amazing, and it changed everything. It opened me up for more things. And right around that time, my old friend, my best friend Kayreen, from high school, and she had started contacting me, and we would talk. And when I didn't feel up to talking, she would just send me a text just to let me know that she was thinking about me. And I would send her sometimes just an emoji back. Just sometimes I knew I couldn't speak. And she
Now
was just
shout
so,
out, Katie.
yes, yeah, go Katie. Um, she's amazing. Can't wait to have her on.
Oh, me
But
neither.
yes, so um, with speaking with her, with just talking, we didn't talk about, things that were a lot of pressure. We just
Mm,
talked, and it was so amazing. It was such a blessing to me. I stopped feeling like a ghost. I started
mm.
feeling like a real person again, and it was really, I'm really thankful for Kayreen. I'm really thankful for how God placed her in my life again after so many years. And we just started up right where we left off. Like it was, I
Yeah,
don't feel like
isn't
there
that
was any,
amazing?
it's such a gift to have that. You don't have that with many people in your life. And that
No.
definitely, she is definitely, I'm so thankful for her. Um,
Oh, me
so she
too.
was she was a big part of it. And I remember when I started feeling better and I was telling you about the meal, and um, we had the meal, and it was just the greatest thing. And I remember I was able to start talking to you more. Um,
Right.
and it was just, it was bomb. It was really bomb to start talking again to people. And I remember we were talking, and we were talking about mommy. We were talking about the pandemic and how everybody was stuck inside, and there had been people who had been not out for other reasons, whether it's age, whether it's an illness, or whether it's the pandemic. Um,
Mhm,
there's so many reasons why people would be left at home and not able to
mhm,
get out and speak to people. But I know
mhm.
we were talking about mommy, and I remember sharing with you, which you had already known this because you are an amazing counselor and have always
Oh,
been. It's who
girl.
you're created to be. It is your heart.
Oh, thank
So
you,
you
darling.
already knew how important talking was, but I
Yeah,
had not experienced it in the way that I had experienced it before. So I
yeah.
remember just telling you how important it was to me, and you were like, yes, absolutely. And I was like, wait, can we do this? Like, why don't we do this? And you were just like, all like, yep, we can. I think we just did.
Yeah, I mean, it was just really amazing because y'all, it really was just that simple. It was a matter of fact. She's like, I just really feel that, you know, I'm so grateful that we're talking again and that we can talk. And I just can like, we just need to do this for others. Why can't we do it? I said, well, we can. Let's just do it. And she and this is amazing because right before you did that, you had sent me a card that you made for us. Now, Sis and I are very we are into the doilies, and we like the southern country stuff and all of that. And she knows I adore that royal blue and white motif. And so she found a teapot with a picture with a teapot and a teacup. And she just said, and the caption read, "I can't wait till we can just talk." And so I said to her, "So, okay, so like that's it. We just want to offer somebody, let's just call it this." And we were going to use the card, and then we thought, well, but this is our thing. And and so I said, okay, so we want the concept and maybe not the card as our backdrop. And she was like, yeah. I said, okay, so let's just do it. And she said, let's call it Let's Just Talk. And I was like, yeah, we're TNT, and so that was the birth of Let's Just Talk with TNT. And good Lord, y'all, the conversation was like a 2-hour conversation. Listen, so much more was birth, but that was our focal point. God had placed that in her heart. We had come together. We had the vision together. It happened together, and just things started working like this. And before I knew it, she's like, "Okay, I think I had to go for a minute and call you back." And while I was gone, she had gone on to Google, and she created the email. And then while I was talking with her, she says, "Okay, we're in." And I was like, "In where?" She says, "We're in. We got it. Let's Just Talk with TNT is ours." And I was like, "Oh my goodness." And honestly, just like popcorn, it just every part of it just clicked like that. That was just amazing.
It really
And she
was.
got the fastest fingers in the world, y'all. But I mean, it just amazed me that, and I was not gone for a long time. It was only a few minutes between us talking that I had her on hold, and then got back to her. And it was like, wow, that was amazing. And that's it.
And we would like to have a platform, have a community that people can just get together and talk. So
Yeah.
we would like to do it through Zoom. That's how we're
Yeah.
doing it right now.
Hmm.
And it seems to be wonderful.
Yeah. It's really
So we
good.
would like to occasionally, we'll talk and we'll hang out, but then we're going
Yeah.
to occasionally have some tea times where we would like to invite y'all to come in and
Yeah.
just,
Right.
because it is so important to just talk.
Hmm. Hmm.
We can
That's right.
talk
It
about,
really is.
we can talk about tea, we can talk about clothes, we can,
Yes.
we will
Yeah.
talk
We're going
about
to
tea,
cover
we will
everything.
talk about clothes, we'll talk about makeup,
Yep.
we'll talk about everything that goes on in life.
Everything is just going to be a
And we
fellowship,
want to
honey.
hear, it is, and we want to hear about you and what's going on with you and what's important to you.
To you.
And
Yes.
yeah, so
And I
that's
think that's the thing that was most enlightening. And she just kept saying that through the whole process. It's about people knowing that they're important, that there's value in their thoughts and their heart's desires. What if somebody doesn't have what I have, and doesn't have a big sister, doesn't have a friend, doesn't have family where they can tap into and share this with? What if? And she just couldn't stand that. Like, that was unacceptable to her, the thought of that. And yeah, so that's what we're going to be doing, just offering you a platform with us to join us in our talk time, you know.
yes, yes. So you go ahead, sis.
So then we got the channel up, or the page, right? Facebook. Yeah, we got the page up on Facebook, and that happened just as instantaneous as the email address did. And for those of you who over the past year have been coming to the page and enjoying it, and we just thank you. And I know we said, actually, um before the change, we had said we are coming soon, that it was coming soon. We kept saying that, and y'all were just consistent with popping in. And and so that's it now. So we're going to go to the part where uh, we didn't take a break, but I don't even know what to call it. I don't even remember what I called it in the beginning. What
It
does
was
it?
just a change. We just had to change gears, switch gears
Yeah,
for a little
yeah,
while.
yes, yep, and that's exactly what we'll call it, change, right? So let's go to the change. So now we're doing good. We've got all of this up and going. We're
Yes,
saying
we're
we're
so
coming
close, y'all.
in.
We're so excited and we're so
Right
close.
at the door, y'all. You're
Yes, yes.
right at the door. The hours that we poured into it, and when you go there to the page, it is really sweet. So y'all, please go there, and we are still collecting
Yeah.
tea recipes and cookie recipes or munchie recipes for our tea time, and we are going to officially choose one of them and make that the tea time refreshment that we'll partake of. More on that later. But anyway, so we're going to the time of change. So now we're right at the door, ready to open it, and here comes a change. Sis is starting to feel ever so bad in her body. Take it away, sis.
Thanks. Thanks with that
Take,
introduction.
take us away.
Um, yes, as my beautiful, wonderful, amazing big sister has said, I started to feel bad. I started to feel
Yes,
really
we
bad.
gush
And
a
I
lot.
was, we do, we gush. She's amazing. Um, I started to feel really bad and I was so excited about doing this. Let's just talk with TNT. I was so excited about it. We were both so excited about it.
Mhm.
And, but my body physically, I was just not able to do what I was able to do. And I remember being so upset with myself. And my
Oh,
beautiful big sister was
true.
like, you have
Don't
to
you
listen to your
dare.
body. There is something,
Yep,
something is wrong. You have to listen to your body. And
yep.
so I made the appointment, which was months and months out, um, which was crazy. So really was living in a really dangerous place, in a dangerous way, for a couple of months until I was able to get to the doctor. But so was feeling really bad, and whew, it was a lot. It was a lot all at one time, and
Then
finally
that
had.
long I'm
Oh,
sorry.
no,
Then
go ahead.
that long-awaited appointment got canceled.
Yes, it did. Yes, they tried to cancel it again, which the year before I had an appointment, but because of the pandemic, they had canceled it then. But then it just started getting far, far worse. It was not anything that I could ignore. So when they came back, when they called me back and they were trying to cancel the appointment, right
Oh,
before the appointment, they were trying to cancel it again. And I was like, I cannot cancel the appointment. Absolutely not. I just
I
cannot
was so
cancel the
proud.
appointment. That was a nervous thing for me. That was not something
I
I would
know.
normally
Oh,
do. That when they
I
canceled it
know.
last time, I probably could have done the same thing, but I did not know that. And so, and I didn't know it this time either, but I was just like, no, we've got to do something because I cannot continue to live like this. This was a dangerous time.
And
So
she had been having problems up to this point and kept going to doctors, and they just kept
over 20
not
years.
doing their job. I don't know. I'm just gonna, just to be polite, they just kept missing it. The devil is a liar. They just kept missing it, and they weren't doing what they were supposed to do, period. So now she's feeling so bad, and now she's got another appointment, and now here they are trying to cancel that. And honestly, I just sat back praying, please, Lord, don't let her say okay. Because you know what, my girl, she's like, all right, listen, y'all don't want to do this. I got the Lord. So you know what? And that's where she was. And I was like, Lord, just got to open the doors for her, because she won't take another push away like that. She won't take another mishap or
You're
another
right.
moment where they
You
don't
kept
do
trying
right
to get
by
me to go
her.
to the hospital. And I was like, no,
I
I'm not going to go to the
was.
hospital because they're
I'm
not
like,
going to do
girl,
anything to
go
help
to
me.
the ER, ER.
Yeah, but over 20 years I would go and it would just, they wouldn't help me. They would just say there was nothing they could do. They told me to go and see a gynecologist, go to see my gynecologist. And at that point, that just was not an option. So yeah, it was difficult. But I
Mm-mm.
remember one of the times that I was feeling a little bit better, and I remember praying, and I remember just being in praise, just worshiping God, just
Mhm.
it's beautiful. I mean, God inhabits the praises of his people, and
Oh,
wow, it just was amazing that I was going through this and able to praise, and that's where I was getting my peace. That's where I was getting my solace and my strength, any type of strength that I had. And I remember one time I was praying, and the Lord had given me an option to accept an assignment or reject an assignment. And I didn't know what the assignment was. I had no idea what it was. And but I did know that God does nothing in part. He does all things
mm,
in full. So I
mm-hmm.
said yes to the assignment. Then,
Let's vote.
yes, yes, yes. So I said yes to the assignment. And within a few weeks of that time, I had had my appointment. They had found a tumor inside at that appointment. They had found a tumor inside me, and they had done a test on that tumor. And I had to wait to get a response from them.
I
When
remember. Oh,
I remember on our 25th wedding anniversary, my husband and my 25th wedding anniversary, he was out with our girls, and I had gotten the phone call from my doctor saying that it was cancer that I had. And it was a difficult prognosis. It was a difficult diagnosis because I was only one of 3 cases. And so they did not,
in the world.
in the world. Um,
Period.
right. Um, so they had expected, they just didn't have a huge amount of hope. It
And what was
seemed like.
I'm sorry, what was the name of your cancer? What was that called?
Well, it's
It,
endometrial cancer,
right.
which plenty of women have, but
Mm-hmm.
the difficulties with mine just caused it to be just a much higher, much more dangerous cancers.
Mm-hmm.
I actually had it. It had moved. It had spread. So so yeah. So it was definitely doing a lot of things to a lot of organs. Um, I don't remember where I was at now.
Oh Lord, child. I'm so I don't know either.
It's okay. We'll figure it out. So, okay. So I got the call
Oh,
about
you got the
cancer.
call.
I
That's
got the
it.
call that said that I had cancer. When I got off of the phone, even when the doctor told me, I just had absolute peace. I just had absolute peace. I didn't have any fear about it, which I knew was surreal. I knew that it was not a normal thing, that was not a normal experience to feel peace after you were told something like that. A lot of people just automatically think it's a death sentence, so it's very
Mm-hmm.
devastating for so many people. Um, but praise God, I just had peace, and so the only concern that I had was telling my love and our daughters. That was the difficult thing that I had. But because they weren't there, they weren't home with me at that point, I was able to go before the Lord. And I
Mm-hmm.
asked him to tell me the truth about the cancer and the truth about my assignment. And
Mm.
I got to see, God showed me a vision of the cancer melting from my body. And it was a beautiful vision to just see all of the cancer just leaving my body, just melting right from my body.
Meanwhile, that is exactly what was happening because your body was excreting this clear fluid.
Right,
And like you never knew what that clear fluid was. And as we were just talking through, waiting for all of this to unfold, we were thinking simplistically that maybe it's a cyst, maybe,
right. We
it's
didn't know what
that,
it was. We
kind
didn't
of
know what it
growth.
was. But
No,
he had already started doing that. What a blessing, what a miracle that is, that he was already doing that.
I
So
mean,
so I went to the specialist. We found out that I was going to need to take radiation treatment and then chemotherapy, and then they would need to do a surgery afterwards to take the rest of the cancer that was left in my body out of it. Um, when After a few visits with my doctor, DC, because she's
yeah.
a
Shout out
superhero.
DC,
Yes,
our girl.
she is a superhero. She, I had asked her, I had told her that I was excreting clear fluid. And, you know, did she have any idea what it was? And she's like, that's probably the cancer cells leaving your body. That's what she said. That is probably the cancer cells leaving your body. She didn't know that I had that vision, but God had given me that vision. And I just thought, wow, like I was astounded. I was truly in shock, actually. I don't even think I talked to her about it, about the fact that I had that vision. So it was just, I had to digest that for a little while. But so we went to, I started my radiation treatments. We went through about halfway of the radiation, and I needed to have a exploratory surgery so they can make sure that everything was working properly in my body. And they were hoping, I love that word, hope. They were hoping for a 40% reduction of the cancer cells in my body. When I woke up from surgery, I was told by the nurses that everything looked really good, but I didn't know everything. I don't know if the doctor came in to see me that day, but I didn't remember it anyway. So when I went out to the car after I woke up from surgery, my husband was not allowed to be there. So when I went out to the car, and they took me out to the car, but when I went out to the car, he told me that not only was there not a 40%, well, there was not a 40% reduction of the cancer cells. There was an actual 80% reduction of the cancer cells. And I mean, that was just such a blessing. And to know that the cancer cells were leaving my body, to know what the doctor had said already, to know that, and then to know that 80% of the cancer, the doctor was just so excited. And I remember going to the doctors, and every time afterwards that they would see me, they would call me a miracle and a marvel. Like
Yeah.
it was an amazing thing. And
Yeah.
it was really, it was just an amazing thing. That's the only word that I can use for it. And I am so thankful. I had so much support throughout the whole journey, from my big sister and my best friend and my husband, of course, and my daughters, and just people that I knew and people that I didn't know. I just had so much support. It was amazing. And thank y'all so much at Let's Just Talk with TNT. And thank y'all so much at Seeds of Faith with Teresa for all of y'all praying for me, because and the sweet comment and just all the thoughtfulness that I got, it was definitely a blessing and a big part of why I know that I did as well as I did. But sis, I know that so far I've spoken about my experience, through the halfway point. But I'm really curious to see to know what your experience was, because I know that had to be difficult. I know we had lost Poppy several years ago to cancer, and I know you're a counselor as well. So I know that you share with people and you help people that are going through a lot of difficulties in life. So I'd really love to hear how you were going and holding up through all this.
Yeah, I'm going to take you back to one point, because I think there's an important part that actually ends up being then a segue into that part of our story. Is that, first of all, brother was not able to be with you because of the COVID restrictions. So he would take you to your appointments and he would have to wait in the car. So initially, anything that you were going to hear solemnly on your own. And then I wanted to talk a little bit about, now they come home, he and the girls, they come home and you share with them. And the story, the report that you're going to share with them is what the doctor found in the test results. But when you shared that with them, you had this unshakable, unmovable faith. Like you just knew it was going to be okay. And then when you shared that with Scott and the girls, do you feel like that is what gave them the support and the strength to just support you as they did? Because in just watching them as they would pop in, I never saw them responding to you in fear. I'm sure they had their moments, because I sure did, and I kept that from you. So I just want you to know, with what I'm about to share with you, I didn't share this with you. Like, you didn't know this when you were going through all this, and I would not have shared that with you. So here's the clock. So here we go. So we can go in it. But would you say that it was that unwavering faith that supported them as they grew into their time?
I really hope so. I
Yeah.
mean, I don't know what else could have given them the strength to support me the way that they did, especially
Mhm,
my love. I mean, he just did everything for me. I didn't,
mhm,
he just took care of me from the time I woke up several
mhm,
times in the middle of the night, all
mhm,
day long. He just,
mhm,
everything was about taking care of me. And I'm so blessed and so thankful to him for that. But I
mhm.
did not see fear in them. I did not.
Right. No.
It was really, I don't know if they were keeping it from me. I don't know. I would have to ask them. But
Yeah.
yeah, they were just always happy and just supportive. Um,
Right.
and it kept me in a really nice bubble. I was in a really
Right.
nice, safe bubble.
Yes, you say, yeah, yeah. Well, I'm glad that we're going to do a part 2 so that we can go a little bit deeper into all of that, because I think that bubble statement is important and I think it needs to be expounded upon. So I'm glad that, so y'all, we are going to do a part 2 to bring all of this to a head. But I just wanted to take you back there because I felt that was important. Yeah, and here's why it's important, because life is real and we are spirit, soul, and body. I mean, that's just a reality of life. Whether you're a believer or not, that's just who you are. And when somebody that you love is going through something and receives a diagnosis like that, the natural instinct says, oh my gosh, what's the first thing you think? Is death, because that is what it surrounds that spirit. That is the intent of that spirit, period. And I know, as a counselor and as a believer and as a teacher of God's word, for the past, I want to say, for the past maybe 10 years, I've done a lot of work with people who had gotten a cancer diagnosis and who overcame many obstacles, but several of them passed away at the point of knowing that they had God's best in, before them and in their heart. At and so I know that when you texted me the report, as much as y'all, I'm gonna try to do this so you see me gulping, because I can feel myself getting ready to cry and I really can't. uh as I read that, a part of my heart, no matter how much faith I had in the Lord, a part of my heart, because I'm dealing with my soul, the natural being of me, felt like, oh my gosh, Lord, Daddy was a faith man, a Bible teacher. I mean, I've never known a stronger man of God than our daddy. And but yet, he went through everything that he went through, and those cancer cells began to shrink as well. But you know what? 3 months later, he's gone. And that was life changing for me. That was life changing for you. So when I got this report, I'm like, okay, Lord, but on the inside of me, where I had just gotten my sister back, y'all, and this girl, I I I had just gotten my sister back, and I had all of this data in my brain, all these, when you serve the Lord and you speak the word to somebody and they're believing that, and still what they want via what they said, it turns into something different. Like, what happens to you? What is it? And so I got to a place in my walk where I stopped encouraging people. Um, in regards to just stand in faith, trust God, because I realized that there was something between what somebody said and what was actually in their heart and what they were holding on to. And that's God's business and their business. But now for me, I got to talk to my sister because I got to be her supporter. I got to support her in spirit, soul, and body. And I've got to be okay. Because, first of all, my sister, she does not like anybody to see her down, hurt, feeling bad, just period. She will isolate herself in a mega minute. Yeah. And so for her to tell all of us this was the hardest thing in the world. So certainly you don't want to support her in that hardship. You want to support her beyond that hardship. But I just needed to hear from the Lord. I just needed to understand. And I'll tell you what, she didn't know this, but there was a cloud of pain and hurt. How many nights and days I just cried. And because all I could say, please don't take my sister, Lord. Please don't take my sister. Please don't take my sister, Lord. She's got, Lord, you see the face she's got, Lord. You know, she's believing in you. She's standing on your word. She's got this peace that passes all understanding. Now, come on, you got to give me some of this peace because I got to be before this girl. And the whole way I'm going, please don't take my sister, Lord. Please don't let this be for my sister, Lord. No, 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 no. I come against it in the name of Jesus. You know, doing all that we need to do. But listen, but there was healing that was happening for her. So not only did she enter into this assignment, but through her assignment, healing was coming to me. Because now I had to speak what was in my spirit. I had to walk by faith and not by sight. So God had my son and people who love me saying, she's going to be all right. And tell you, I reached out to everyone I love to say, hey, y'all got to pray my sister through and just pray the family through. And it's just got to be what it's got to be. They didn't know. I'm like, oh, y'all, I'm going through something. You better make sure you get it. You better have our back right now. um you know, and so when brother sent me the text, it was a true exhale moment. It was the exhale of all that pressure that was under that cap that I was hiding. And because now and it wasn't that it wasn't that I needed to see it to believe it. I just needed an emotional exhale. You can't share that faith and not have that vision. But you can, in the flesh, be connected to what your flesh knows normally happens when you receive a particular report. So now we are running out of time. So I'm going to let Sis wrap this up and we will pick up right here on part 2 real soon. How about that, Sis?
That's great. Thank you so much for sharing that with me. I did not know that. You did keep that from me. And I know that must have been so hard. I know that must have been so hard for you. And I'm sorry that you felt like you had to keep that from me because you know, I was there for you. I know that I physically wasn't
I
there for you, but
know.
I was there for you. But
I know you
I
were.
understand, and I'm so thankful that you did try to make sure that nothing came in my bubble, nothing
Right,
except for goodness came in my bubble, and so I
right.
appreciate that. That was very thoughtful. Um,
Mm. Love,
all
girl,
right.
love.
Well, I would like to thank everybody for joining us for our first tea time.
Yes,
And
thank
I look forward to seeing you all soon for part 2 of
you. Yes.
this video. And
Uh-huh.
we would like for you to come and join us right back here at Let's Just Talk with TN.
Yes, y'all. See you soon.
Bye. God bless you.
Bye. Bye, sis.
Bye. Love you.
Love you.